We have swallowed all manner of poisonous certainties, fed us by our parents and school teachers. If the race is to be freed from its crippling burden of good and evil, it must be psychiatrists who take the original responsibility.
La déclaration de Brock-Chisholm caractérisait l'assaut psychiatrique dirigé vers notre système scolaire.
They actually said the purpose was social control, not to pass on knowledge, not to give him something so that he can go into the world of work.
En 1950, des psychiatres et psychologues du monde entier se sont réunis à la Maison-Blanche pour proposer une réorientation totale du système scolaire public.
The White House Conference on Mental Health in the 1950s was a landmark that served to bolster the idea that schools would serve their communities better as mental health clinics than they would as institutions of learning.
In the early 60s, the world of psychiatry started to really go places in this country. Little by little, it came into our schools, our educational system.
Et en 1965, une nouvelle législation a confirmé ce fait. Les psychiatres avaient obtenu le feu vert pour étiqueter et droguer en masse les enfants dans les écoles.
A child is labeled ADD or ADHD the minute he can't sit still for a 10-15 minute period of time, or he talks constantly, or ignores the teacher completely. That will get him and earn him an ADD or ADHD label.
L'étiquetage du trouble de l'hyperactivité avec déficit de l'attention, THADA, battait son plein en 1987. En l'espace d'un an, 500 000 enfants américains furent diagnostiqués THADA. En 1994, ce nombre avait atteint 4 400 000. En réponse à l'inquiétude du public face à cette épidémie apparente de maladies mentales, les Instituts nationaux de la santé, financés par le gouvernement américain, ont réuni un groupe de médecins et psychiatres éminents pour expliquer aux parents et éducateurs ce qu'était le THADA.
I would like any member of the panel to describe a typical ADHD in terms of symptomatology. Mark, would you like to? Since you see them in your practice.
I mean, I think the panel has been frank, and the difficulties here are immense in terms of these. I mean, it is hard. It's very hard to know how to answer this question. They cannot, even when they are as if driven by a motive. There are some good clinical descriptions. And I think, I think part of the problem is the profession keeps changing the diagnosis.
At this time, we do not have a diagnostic test for ADHD. Therefore, the validity of the disorder continues to be a problem.
Mais cet aveu choquant n'a pas arrêté les psychiatres des écoles. 2 ans plus tard, le nombre de cas de THADA diagnostiqués chez les étudiants américains se montait à 6 millions. Aujourd'hui, 20 millions d'enfants dans le monde sont étiquetés d'un trouble quelconque de l'apprentissage. Un diagnostic souvent établi en quelques minutes.
We would sit behind a two-way mirror along with the parents. We would then look at the child. We would do small manipulative activities with them to see where their deficit was. It was wrong what we were doing. We were looking at a 5-minute glimpse of this child's life and saying, okay, here you go. Here's a little pill, take it, you'll be fine.
Ces petites pilules, comme la Ritaline, l'Adderall et le Concerta, sont classées par l'Agence américaine de lutte contre la drogue comme des substances aussi addictives que la cocaïne, l'héroïne et la méthamphétamine.
When I was on the Ritalin, it made me just feel like totally different, like I wasn't even who I was.
I was, flipping out, I was twitching, going crazy.
I felt like I was out of it all the time, like I wasn't there. I wasn't human.
You're just a zombie, pretty much. You do what you can just to get by and just don't do anything extra.
My mother never teased me, but she thought I really had ADHD and I was wrong, and I had something wrong with me. So I thought she'd feel bad and feel sorry for me if I died. But then again, I thought that she would miss me a lot, and I also love her a little more than I wanted to kill myself. And so I stopped when I realized that.
L'abondance de prescriptions de psychotropes rapporte aussi à certains enfants qui vendent leurs pilules aux camarades de classe.
It's called kitty cocaine. They take the Ritalin and they just repackage it and they sell it on campus to the kids because it's like speed.
I figured if I was going to do drugs, I might as well make it worth it. And I ended up doing street drugs, and then I ended up getting into it really bad.
We're looking at marijuana and other things as being gateway drugs, and actually the so-called medications are a greater gateway drug.
The Ritalin drugs are backfiring big time because if the child is already disruptive and he takes cocaine, he's going to be a lot more disruptive after he's taken it. It is not going to calm him down.
Boom, she got on the drugs and her personality changed, her behaviors changed, they became erratic and dark and violent, and it was just a nightmare.
He kept having adverse reactions, becoming very, very angry. He could not control his behavior, he couldn't control his temper.
He was on 5 different psych meds, Prozac and lithium, and he was 7 years old. And he was unable to function. He would have rages and then crying and all kinds of just violent rages, grabbing knives and all of this.
The list includes 15-year-old Kip Kinkle withdrawing from Prozac when he shot 22 classmates, killing 2 after murdering his mother and stepfather at his home in Springfield, Oregon. 18-year-old Jason Hoffman on Effexor and Celexa when he opened fire at his California high school, wounding 5. 15-year-old Sean Cooper on a mix of antidepressants when he shot students in Idaho. And 17-year-old Eric Harris on Luvox when he and partner Dylan Klebold killed 12 classmates and a teacher in the bloodiest school massacre yet, Columbine.
Et tout cela obscurcit la raison même pour laquelle les enfants vont à l'école, acquérir une éducation. Depuis 1970, les États-Unis ont chuté de la 9e à la 28e place dans le classement académique mondial. Alors que durant cette même période, le nombre d'écoliers américains étiquetés de troubles de l'apprentissage est monté en flèche. Et la vente de psychotropes pour traiter le THADA a été multipliée par 32.
Children don't ask for psychiatric drugs. Children don't ask to be diagnosed. They don't want to be called crazy. So you ask the classic Roman question, legal question, cui bono, who benefits? The people who make the diagnosis.